Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Siobhan. So I'm sharing with you how you can change a section in your notebook that's already set up. You can't just remove and add pages like ring planners. So I'm going from this setup to this new setup that I created. This is the same exact section, and I'm going to show you how you can easily cover it up. I know working with a notebook is kind of intimidating at times, but it's a simple fix for it. So I originally set up this section to keep track of meal ideas. And I originally wanted to break it down into like breakfast, dinner, lunch, snack. And I had this little card paper in the middle to keep the grocery list. So there's two ways you can fix it. If you want, you can always go ahead and take the pages out. But no, if you take the page out in the left, you're going to have to find what it's attached to on the right. But I'm not going to take it out because this planner is already set up. So I'm just going to cover up what I've already made. Since I'm going to cover up these two pages, I'm gently removing the stickers that I already had down. The stickers, they were just papers that I used. I printed these little images and then I added it on regular paper and then I just glued it down. So because the Stalogy paper is very delicate, it's super thin, so you have to be very careful. The only reason why I'm removing some of these is because they're kind of bright, and the paper that I'm putting down on top of it is white, and I don't really want it to see through. That little section on the right that I did not take up, it actually, you can see it through the new setup, so I should have taken it up as well. But you have to do this step really, really slow because you can squish the paper underneath and it could look very wrinkly. Another thing that I could have done was just use whiteout to cover it, but those are just some of the options to get rid of the darkness underneath the surface where you're going to be working. So I have two sets of washi tape. One is kind of like a cream color and one is a more whiter color. The MT one is from Amazon and the cream color one is from the Muji store. The Stalogy paper is not really white, so that's the reason why I have this kind of off-white color. But I'm going to be using the white one today because I'm tipping in a white color paper. So for the pages to write on, I'm going to be replacing it with these paper that I picked out. I took it out of this notebook I got from a local stationery store. Being that I'm covering up the pages that are already there, I'm going to need pages to write on, like meal ideas. And then I printed out these two pages from Canva. I bought this clip art from Etsy for like $6. I love this little cafe and it's just super cute, and that's the look I want. This is my double-sided double roller tape that I use. It's from Amazon, and I just took these out just in case I needed any stickers to cover up any imperfection. I kind of like the blue idea for cafe, but I put it to the side for now. So these are just clip arts that I printed on half letter page, and the way how I usually cover up a page if I'm gluing it down, I either cut it down to the exact size and then just tape the back of the paper and then put it in my notebook, or I use the tape roller and put it all over the page and then I just put the paper down and then cut around the edge. And that's how I'm going to be covering up these two pages the second way that I said. So I made sure I glue as close to this spine as possible, not too close, because the more things that we put in the spine, the chunkier it gets and it gets bulky faster and it's harder to close. But I mean, over time, the whole thing gets chunky anyway. So I'm carefully just laying it as close to the center as possible. And then I just pressed it down with my hand to secure it. Then I can just cut around the edges. There's so many ways you can cover up a page in a notebook. That's just one of the ways, and this is the way that I chose to do it because I was lazy to cut it down to the exact size. Once it's down, obviously it's going to be bigger and overlap the paper. So I just took my scissors and I just trimmed around the edges carefully, making sure that I cut it at the very edge of the paper that's already there. I try to put the tape as close to the edge as possible, but sometimes it kind of gets on the next page. So I'm just always careful or I use my X-Acto knife to cut off the excess glue that's on the edge. So this part of the paper did not have enough glue, so I just used the roller. I lifted up gently, tacked on some glue, and then secured it in as close to the crease as possible. Like I said, there are so many ways you can cover up the sheet, but this was the way that I'm choosing to do it. So the right side of the notebook is the bulkier side. So I really did not want to go as close to the crease as possible. So the line that I'm putting, you can see the line. It's not close to the spine because it will also make it harder to stay open. So I'm doing the same thing as I did on the left side, putting the glue as close to the edge as possible, but you have to do it very slow and you have to do it gently because you can kind of snag the paper. Don't follow me and rush like I did. I've been doing this for a long time, so if I mess it up, I can always fix it. And the reason why I use something underneath it is to catch the excess glue if I put it too close to the edge. Because if you don't put something underneath it, the excess glue will attach to the next paper in the notebook. So this is the reason for having something under it could be just a regular paper, anything to catch the glue when you're very close to the edge. And then you want to rub your finger along and make sure that it's not coming over on the other side, because then your pages are going to start to stick together. Hopefully that makes sense. And then I do the same technique and I put the paper down and trim around the edges. To cut around the edge, you can just use the scissors, or you can use an X-Acto knife with something underneath to score it and then remove it like that. So many options. It's just what's best for you and what you're comfortable with. So always want to make sure that around the edges there aren't no excess glue. So just run your hands around it, and if there's any glue, you can sometimes use an eraser and the glue will come up. This double-sided tape, I've been using it from Amazon and it works amazing. So I've already gone ahead and cut this paper down to the size that I need. The width is not the same, but that's fine with me. I don't mind having this little section. The pages are not as wide as the regular width of the notebook because it's like a little book inside of a book. So this is how I tip in basically all of the pages that I tip in. Sorry, I didn't realize the picture was out of frame, but I put the washi tape on the very edge of the paper, and this way I can cut the washi tape in half. Instead of using washi tape, you can also use like a clear tape, but the washi tape for me works the best because I can kind of bend it when I'm putting it in the notebook. So I cut the washi tape to the exact length of the paper, and then what I do next is I always cut the washi tape in half lengthwise. The washi tape is so big and sometimes it makes the pages in the crease, it kind of makes it a little bit stiff. So I feel like the less tape I put in the spine of the notebook, the better it is. So I always use one washi tape cut in half can tip in 2 pages for me, because I cut it down and I use just a very small side of the washi tape to put the paper in, and I never have any problems with it. I don't put the paper in directly in the spine as I move further along in the notebook. I kind of put it on top of the right page, because when I put it in the spine, it bulks up a lot and the notebook just kind of flops open and it doesn't really lay flat. So that's how I tip my pages in, especially as we go closer to the back of the page as the notebook becomes more bulky. And then I put the other side of the tape that I cut and put it down to secure the back. Because remember, this is 2 pages that's already combined together, because I took out the middle part of the notebook and I put tape on the back just to secure it, and I never have any issues with it coming out. So this is a good way to add multiple sheets in the notebook. I didn't have my big ruler, but I just used this little ruler to kind of create like a score in. Sometimes it's because I didn't have my flat mat out to kind of fold the washi tape in half to kind of pre-score it, but I used the ruler and that did it. So now we have a totally new section. You couldn't even tell there was something here before. We have the decor on the left where I can use little sticky notes. And then I have the section in the middle where I now have 4 pages. Sometimes I kind of bend the book a bit to kind of set the pages in. That's what I was doing. So this is the section where I will put all my meal ideas. I am going to decorate the meal idea pages. I didn't figure out like how I want to have it yet, but it's a work in progress. And the next thing that I did was put a little card in here from Simply Gilded. I didn't end up putting the stickers because I want to make sure this is the color scheme that I want to go for. I love the greens, and I love that the cafe that's on the cover has the greenery, the plants, and the browns. So I'm gonna think about a theme that I want. But instead of putting down some of the stickers that are blue, this little card, it says sweet, and I can use the back of this to put like bacon ideas or bacon inspiration. I can put a little sticky note and write bacon recipes to try or something like that. But I love the layered look of this notebook that I create. It's kind of like having a ring bound planner, but you don't have a ring bound because it's like the bigger page and then the small inserts. Sorry for my head being there. I just want to make sure it was as close to the edge as possible because I don't like using the whole tape as you've seen before. But this is just a way to layer things in the notebook to kind of give it that feel of having like a ring planner. And this is another way I cut my washi tape. I just use my X-Acto knife and I just score a line all the way down, and then it just comes apart. And always fold the washi tape to kind of pre-score it. I feel like it's just a lot better when I put it in. So this card is going in the center of the page, center towards the left. And the washi tape does not go in the crease. It's actually just on the right of the notebook, on the right side. And you see me pressing it in, making sure that it opens. So as you can see, when I open that card, it's opening from the right side. It's not from the center. I don't really like to put a lot of things in the center because it bulks up the center a lot, and it's like floppy. Like this card is from on the right side as well, and I feel like it works fine. And this is how I layer things up. I have this whole little section where I can just flip through, and I have more pages to write down the meal ideas. Because remember, I had 2, now I have 4 separate pages. So that's all. I hope this was helpful to you if you make a mistake, and I hope it does not really scare you. So thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you next time.